Alright, today we're going to be working on the player a little bit. So one thing I've noticed, so let me turn this down real quick. One thing I noticed is after we got the enemies moving, when they come, they seem to get stuck in a couple odd spots. And if I go above them, for example, there's not only are they moving robotically all together in a straight line, notice how they're on the right side of the player. So if I go like this with the rock, I'm actually not colliding, but I am there. So I'm going to assume the way I currently have the player set up is the center is actually about right here. So I've been taking a look at what I had previously for the player, and I think we're going to just completely redo this. This might be a task. However, it's going to be a lot better considering right now we're taking the pointer, player texture 1, it looks like, and starting position, scale, and size into the constructor. But if we look over, so let me right click here, go to open file folder in File Explorer, come over here to Files. We have two images for the player, up and a down, and a left and a right. And I think the last time I was setting this up, there seemed to be an issue between both of these. Now if we go over here to Properties, Details, that's 78 by 60. And this one, I think is similar, nope, 90 by 52. Right, so when I tried putting them on the same sheet, it was hard to get all of them to line up correctly. So I might, for sake of this video, go back to the old sprite that I used to have. But for now, we're going to run around as Carrot. Just because I'm not going to try making a whole new sprite in this video. But what we're going to do is we're going to take out that constructor. We're going to take out player sprite. This looks like his speed and some type of true false to make sure he's in the right position while moving. I don't like this. Shouldn't have two of these. So we're gonna just have. We're gonna come back to the interact because right now I'm not worried about animations. And yeah, so let's go over here to player script. Over here, model. So the constructor is doing a bunch of setting, getting type of stuff. Setting the health, the scales, position, textures. But similar to how we redid spawner, right? Where we left the constructor empty and then had kind of like a spawn enemy. We should probably do very similar for player. So instead of taking in this whole constructor here, let's go over here to player and make a function. It's going to be a return type of void, and we're just going to call it spawn player. And no arguments for this one. We come in here. It should be player for the class. Spawn player. Alright, so one thing that we do need over here in the template is a sprite. We need a sprite, or not a sprite, my bad, a texture. Okay, so we got player texture, in the rectangle shape. Go like this. We'll say player texture, download from file, and I believe it's files, caret.png, something like that. And we're going to say body dot set texture, player texture, and that does take in a reference. I just hit F11. I believe that's going to try building that. Let's keep typing though. Yeah, anyway, so let me clean the solution so we don't have those errors on there. We'll do body dot set position. I think 600 by 600 should be fine, but we're actually going to do an SF vector 2F with those values. Then we need to set a size and a scale. This one I think takes in a float. No, actually this as well. So size, go 10 by 10 for now. And scale, go 2 by 2. Okay, so this should load in some type of player, set the texture, position, all that good stuff. So let's come over here into window and see what we got going on. Okay. So we're just going to take out as much of this up here. Actually, since that's just going to keep erroring out literally every time I've mentioned player in this function here. For now, we're just going to take that function out. Similarly for oh, looks like it would just be in here. Gotcha. So this is the old constructor. We need up to that. And then here, looks like it takes in a sprite for the main camera. Right, so let's see, where did I put player camera? Takes in a sprite. Yeah, and that would explain the offset. Yeah, okay, so basically I have a lot of refactoring to do here. All this needs to be is body. Actually, player. Okay, yeah. This needs to be taken in a player reference. Player.body.get position. And we don't need an offset. Let's do it again. Right here. And take that out. I believe we can just copy that. replace this one and the other couple. Alright, so that should fix the camera. We do need to go up into, looks like it inherits from view, or includes view, my mistake. Here this needs to be a player, that's player. Back here in window, actually, yeah, should be like that. Then down here should just take in the player. Right, now very similar for area of rest. Oh, looks like I went a little too far with that, so we're going to come, there it is. Same thing here. Remove the constructor, or limit the constructor. No arguments up there, and then again, this would take only player for moving the camera, but the constructor for the camera would be, so main camera is undefined. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't take a constructor for the main camera, only for the function. Alright. Save, play, and see what happens. I'm going to assume the move function also had an offset. Right, so player controller had, yeah, very similar. It looks like it took in a player, a clock, two different textures. Interesting. Now it should just take in a player, a clock, and an animation. And this comes from controller. Let's take out these two unnecessary things. Go back to player controller. Alright, so looks like we're setting a texture and a texture rect, moving the body. And then the animation. Yeah, so for now, we're just going to be taking in a player. We'll worry about animating next time. If, considering if I get this done, we'll move on to that. Let's have actual functionality first, though. So when I first started writing this game was during my first year back to college. I was taking a C++ coding class, and this was written during that time. And as I was going through the class, I was learning a lot more and a lot better ways to handle certain things. So a lot of this stuff here is poorly written as an understatement. So what I'm doing with this video series is slowly but surely going to be rewriting the engine for Rouge Tank and updating it on Steam over time. The goal is to make it interesting, enjoyable. Let's see, this is in draw. We're drawing the sprite instead of the body. So I gotta hit the insert key. Then move player doesn't take in 5 arguments anymore, only takes in the 1. And then there's going to be 1 down here. Okay, let's try this. I'm thinking we're going to get another build error. Because, you know, imagine, like, the player's the first thing I made, so everything was kind of built around him. Right. Interesting. Let's see what kind of error we have. So it looks like the texture was loaded. Just gonna double check that. Come up to player. Oh, maybe not. Let's try that one more time. Okay, definitely broken. So what's happening here? We're setting a texture, setting the position, the size, and the scale. Let's take a look at the enemies. We are setting a size, a scale, a position, and the texture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Go over to player. 4 things. Right. So position, size, scale, texture. So position, size, scale, texture. Maybe having, you know, that I don't think that's technically necessary, or why that's not loading, but it might be. It should be good though. What's happening here over in the player controller? Moving by the velocity, which is 8. I noticed when I hit D that the player jumped immediately to the corner and he's not being rendered. And from what I can tell, it's probably because we're not running this. Right, so if we come up to level 1, when we did the constructor, so player, spawn types, textures, okay, control F, player, Okay, so here's the player, but we never called the function. So now let's see if there's any difference. So I see him. Yep, so that was definitely an issue. It is a curious thing that not all of them will go to, like right here. We have the one who comes down. Now a couple others. Also looked like the player was incredibly small. So we're going to go 20, 20, and by that. Okay, yeah. So now it looks like they're locked onto the actual player. But next time we'll kind of change how the enemies are chasing. So for example, if we go over here to chase player, right now both of these behave the same way. We're going to add a little randomness to this, make them less robotic, but keep more or less the way that this is set up, in the fact that it takes a spawn. That way we can do it like this. We have a type who can call upon the actual spawn type, spawn them, and use the same type of type 1 and type 2 to actually run the chase code. So over here, yeah, but we'll do that next time. And if you could, in the comments, I'm looking for a better video software to be recording with. I'm looking for a couple of them online. I've seen DaVinci Resolve, but I actually can't record video using that, and I was setting that up before this video, and it was a little frustrating. But yeah, thank you.